The rise, the fall, and the comeback of David Whitehead Textiles is the story of a nation that has faced it all and survived to write its own comeback story. A story of economic ambition, geopolitical shifts, and the relentless human spirit. In the small Zimbabwean town of Chegutu, there's a factory that embodies all of this. To understand the tale of David Whitehead Textiles, we need to go back, way back, before Zimbabwe's independence. Before the hyperinflation of 2008 that left a scar on the economy. Or sanctions. It all starts here in Lancashire. Three brothers, David, Thomas, and Peter. In the 1850s, the three brothers rose to prominence in the cotton industry, establishing multiple mills throughout Rhodesia. Not much is known about the other two brothers, but David died in 1879, leaving behind a legacy that would far surpass his time on Earth. After the death of David, the company expanded internationally, and it did so at a time when southern Rhodesia was seeing an increase in demand for their yarn. Through the help of the southern Rhodesian government, David Whitehead consolidated with other local firms to build more mills in order to meet the high demand from South Africa and England, thus marking the official registration of David Whitehead Textiles in 1951. In 1952, production commenced at the newly established textile mill in Chegutu, Zimbabwe, utilizing local resources and cotton yarn from Rhodesian spinners in Dodoma. At the beginning of the 1950s, textile manufacturing had grown to the point where it was leading the country's secondary industrial sector. In 1960, David Whitehead Textiles significantly expanded its operations by acquiring Rhodesian spinners from the government. This strategic move allowed the company to integrate more of the textile production process, strengthening its position in the local market and increasing its manufacturing capabilities. The acquisition marked a period of growth and consolidation for David Whitehead, further cementing its role as a leading industrial player in the region. For decades, David Whitehead wasn't just a company, it was a community. It employed thousands, at its peak, around 2,500 people in Chegutu alone. That's 2,500 families, 2,500 livelihoods, all tied to the rhythm of those machines. They produced everything from school uniforms to industrial fabrics, becoming a symbol of national self-sufficiency. This was the golden age, a period where the threads of industry and national pride were inextricably woven together. But then, the 21st century arrived, and with it, a perfect storm.
The stories we tell in this documentary are all about journeys, about the people and the passion that drive them forward. Before we continue on our path, I want to take a moment to shine a light on one of the partners who helps make these kinds of journeys possible. This documentary is proudly sponsored by Truck Hive Commercial. They are a vital part of the Southern African economy, specializing in the seamless export of trucks from South Africa to countries throughout the entire region. What sets them apart is their dedication to efficiency and their commitment to their clients. They don't just move vehicles, they move forward with you, expertly handling all of the complex paperwork and logistics so you can focus on your business. They are truly the commercial backbone of cross-border trade. And now, with that commitment to moving forward, let's continue our journey.
Zimbabwe's economy entered a period of intense turmoil. Hyperinflation, political instability, and a contracting market created an environment where even the most resilient businesses struggled to survive. For David Whitehead, the unraveling was slow, then all at once. The departure of its former owner, Lonro Africa, was a major blow. By 2006, the company was in judicial management, a corporate ICU. There were glimmers of hope, like a new investor in 2008, but they were fleeting. By 2011, the giant had fallen. The Looms went silent. The factory, once the beating heart of Chegutu, became a ghost of its former self. This wasn't just a corporate failure, it was a community's loss, a symbol of a national dream deferred. For years, the David Whitehead factory was a monument to a bygone era. But then, something unexpected happened. In 2019, a new player entered the scene, Agri Value Chain, or AVCZ, a subsidiary of the global conglomerate ETG Paragot. They saw what others didn't, not a relic, but an opportunity. This wasn't just about nostalgia, it was a calculated business decision.
Zimbabwean government, through its asset management company Zamco, had already injected $2 million in 2018, a down payment on a potential revival. AVCZ's acquisition was the real game changer. They began the arduous process of bringing the factory back to life. New machinery was imported, old equipment was refurbished, and, most importantly, people were hired. The looms started to spin again.
Today, David Whitehead is back in business. It's not the same company it was in its heyday, but it's alive. It's producing yarn and fabric, and it's once again employing people in Chegutu and Kadoma. This revival is a story of risk, investment, and a belief in the potential of local manufacturing. But in a world dominated by fast fashion and global supply chains, can a legacy brand like David Whitehead truly compete? The challenges are immense. The global textile industry is a behemoth, and it's often cheaper to import fabric than to make it in Zimbabwe. But David Whitehead's revival isn't just about competing on a global scale, it's about rebuilding a local ecosystem. The partnership with Edgar's, a major Zimbabwean retailer, is a perfect example. By supplying fabric to Edgar's, David Whitehead is helping to create a more resilient domestic supply chain. It's a move away from dependence on imports and towards a more self-sufficient future. This is the bigger picture, the story that goes beyond a single factory. The revival of David Whitehead is a test case for the future of Zimbabwean industry. Can the nation rebuild its manufacturing base? Can it create sustainable jobs in a globalized world? The answer is still being written, but in the whirring looms of Chegutu, there's a powerful note of optimism.
The story of David Whitehead is a reminder that industries are not just about machines and profits. They're about people, communities, and the very fabric of a nation. It's a story of how a legacy, once thought lost, can be rewoven into a new and hopeful future. And in that, there's a lesson for all of us.